Well now, partner, gather round and let me spin you a tale about the wild and rowdy town of Tombstone, where I found myself square in the middle of all the ruckus. It was a place teeming with more cowpokes and outlaws than you could shake a stick at. Now, when I laid eyes on Tombstone, I reckon it didn't look like much. A dusty little town nestled in the desert, with tumbleweeds twisting in the wind. But boy, oh boy, did it have a reputation that would make a rattlesnake quiver. The local saloon, known as the Crystal Palace, was where all the trouble started. It was like a beehive swarming with buzzing troublemakers. Every no-good gunslinger this side of the Rio Grande seemed to have an itch to take on Wyatt Earp. Now, I don't know if they were truly brave or just plain foolish. But let me tell you, folks, I was no ordinary lawman. I stood tall and straight, with a steely gaze that could stop a stampede in its tracks. I had nerves of iron and hands as quick as a jackrabbit. They called me the fastest gun in the West, and I aimed to keep that title with every breath I took. In Tombstone, a fella had to be on his toes day and night. Trouble lurked around every corner, like a sneaky sidewinder waiting for the right moment to strike. Shootouts were more common than tumbleweeds, and I found myself right in the thick of it. There was this gang of miscreants called the Cowboys, led by a no-good scoundrel named Curly Bill Brocius. Now, Curly Bill thought he could run Tombstone like his own personal playground. Well, old Wyatt didn't take kindly to that. It was time to bring a little law and order to this lawless town. Me and my brothers, Virgil and Morgan, along with a dandy named Doc Holliday, we formed a formidable force against the Cowboys. We were like a pack of hungry wolves, ready to pounce on any outlaw foolish enough to cross our path. Now, I gotta say, partner, the fights we had were a sight to behold. It was like a fiery dance of bullets and grit. The streets of Tombstone echoed with the thunder of gunfire, and men started to realize that crossing Wyatt Earp was a shortcut to an early grave. But amidst all the chaos, there was a bit of joy and merriment to be found. The locals loved a good party, and the theater in town, known as the Birdcage, was the place to be. It was like a grand carnival, with card games and canson dancers, fancy dresses, and fancy folks. Tombstone wasn't all doom and gloom, you see. Now, I reckon it wasn't all smooth sailing. I had my fair share of scrapes and close calls. There were times when I felt like a lone cowboy standing against a herd of stampeding bulls. But dang it, I never backed down. I faced those odds head on, with a smile on my face and my trusty peacemaker at my side. In the end, Tombstone came to know one thing for certain. Wyatt Earp wasn't a man to trifle with. I brought law and order to that wild town, and folks started to sleep a little easier at night. It wasn't long before the Cowboys were either behind bars or pushing up daisies. So there you have it, folks, a glimpse into my days in Tombstone. It was a time of adventure and danger, where bullets flew and legends were born. Wyatt Earp, the name that struck fear into the hearts of outlaws, and a man who left his mark on the Wild West.